Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your main man, Six Paths Dunga, coming to you all again with yet another reaction video. So I did get linked this video, and I think just by the title, it looks like a really fun video to react to. Boruto's alternate reality, where nothing goes wrong. So I'm guessing it might be maybe a what if video about a universe where Kawaki never goes crazy, Omnipotence never happens, maybe the Shinju weren't bored, maybe, I don't know. But it seems like a fun video to react to. I know I don't say this often, but I do get video requests where people want me to react to different videos, and I do have a list of videos that I want to react to. I kind of separated to videos I want to react to and videos that are requested, and I've been avoiding saying it. I shouldn't have. But if you guys want me to react to a video, all you gotta do is comment what video you guys want me to watch next down below in the comment section, and I'll go through the comment section and see about some videos that look interesting to me. But yeah, I'm not even gonna wait too long. I just want to hop into the video. So Shark Anime, I'm gonna leave the link to his channel down below in the description. Go subscribe to him. Really good content creator. But yeah, let's just hop into it.
Well, have you ever wondered what would have happened if Boruto's fate had never been swapped with Kawaki's? Imagine if that one event that changed the entire ninja world had never happened at all. Boruto would have remained the respected son of the Hokage, while Kawaki would have become the most wanted fugitive for stealing Naruto and Hinata and nearly killing the son of a Hokage himself. That sounds like a much happier ending, doesn't it? And yeah,
so is it
all that,
if
course,
Omnipotence
if
never
fates
happened?
hadn't been swapped, many things we've come to know might have changed completely. However, there's one consequence that's far more surprising. Without losing everything, without living as a fugitive, and without years of grueling training, could Boruto have become as strong as he is now? Or would the ninja world have lost its only hope when an even greater threat arose? In this video,
off the rip, I have to say, if Omnipotence never happened, Boruto would definitely not be as strong as he is right now. I mean, I hate to say it, but it is kind of true. Times of peace can make you a little bit soft, and that's okay because that's what they're fighting for. But if we're just being completely objective, of course Boruto would still be strong. I mean, he was always strong. He was never considered weak. But if you was to ask me right now, would Boruto be as strong as he is at the age of 15 if Omnipotence never happened? And I would just have to say no. Because the fact that Omnipotence happened, that caused Boruto to have to get stronger faster. Especially after he met Koji, because then the Ten Tails started to be a problem. So now not only does he have to deal with Code and Kawaki, now he has to deal with the Ten Tails. So now we're learning that there's new threats that Boruto is going to have to face sooner rather than later. So I guess it's just the urgency behind everything. So I'll just say this, if Omnipotence never happened, Boruto would eventually get as strong as he is right now at the age of 15. But instead of him being as strong as he is at 15, maybe it would be at 17 or 18. Because of the current circumstances, he was just forced to grow up faster. And now that I think about it, that is the main reason he's stronger than most of his peers. Probably all of his peers. It's just because of all the pressure. Boruto knew he would have to shoulder a lot more. So guess what? He's going to have to get stronger.
First and foremost, Sasuke never left the village and wouldn't become a fugitive for the umpteenth time. Because, as explained in the manga, that decision happened because Omnipotence made the whole world believe that Boruto was the traitor who killed Naruto. Even Sasuke was influenced by this at first, even though he's an Uchiha. But at this point, Sasuke actually disregarded his own decision and chose to trust Sarada, who insisted that everyone's memories had been manipulated. For the sake of his daughter, Sasuke ultimately helped Boruto escape from the village. But what if that twist of fate had never happened? The answer is simple. Sasuke would have had no reason to take Boruto on the run. Instead, he would likely have stayed in Konoha and helped lead the hunt for Kawaki, since everyone knows he was the one who sealed Naruto and Hinata. On the other hand, Sasuke and Boruto's relationship would also develop differently. They could still train as teacher and student without having to live as fugitives. While that sounds much better, there's one rather surprising consequence. Boruto might not develop as quickly as the version we know today.
Oh yeah,
living on the run for 3 years forced him to become more mature, calmer, and far stronger. Ironically, Sasuke's decision to leave the village actually became one of the reasons Boruto was able to grow into an extraordinary ninja in Two Blue Vortex. Second, Kawaki immediately becomes public enemy number 1. After sealing Naruto and Hinata in the Daikoku-ten dimension and nearly killing Boruto, everyone will naturally know that Kawaki is the culprit. There's no omnipotent force altering the world's memories.
You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think we all underestimate Boruto's mental fortitude versus Kawaki's. Because let's just say for a second that Kawaki was in the situation that Boruto was in. Now, tell me, how do you think Kawaki does in that position? I don't think he takes it as good as Boruto did. You know, with everybody after him because they know he sealed Naruto and Hinata, it would definitely do more harm than good. So maybe instead of Boruto getting stronger, Kawaki gets stronger. And it's crazy just talking about different timelines and alternate universes and stuff like that, because what if Kashin Koji still awakens prescience? But instead of Boruto being the one that he found, maybe it's Kawaki. I don't know, that doesn't sound right? I'll leave that for later, but my initial thought when I seen this is that maybe Kawaki just crashes out way earlier than he's supposed to. Like, let's just keep it a buck. We all expect Kawaki to crash out at some point, because remember, his deep desire to protect Naruto just outweighs everything. So if Konoha is constantly trying to find him to bring him back to Konoha and maybe question him about Naruto, even though that Kawaki does not want to free Naruto yet because of the threats, you know, Momoshiki, Cold, in his alternate universe, they'll all still be a threat to Naruto. What's stopping Kawaki from just saying, you know what, y'all want to keep searching for me and hunting me down? I'm gonna go to Konoha, but guess what? I'm destroying all of this. Like, since you're looking for me, I'm right here, and if you guys can't take me down, then it is what it is. So yeah, like I said, it might cause Kawaki to just, you know, destroy Konoha. Like, he can just do that. By the end of part 1, he was already the strongest in the village, if we're not counting Damon, right? Pretty easily. And if we think that Boruto doesn't develop as fast as he did, then we might be in trouble, because the only one in Konoha that's capable of even challenging him is Boruto. But I do have to say, and I can't leave this out, just because Boruto didn't lose his life, that doesn't mean he's going to slack. Because with his parents still sealed, Kawaki on the run, he's still gonna want to knock some sense into Kawaki. Like, he's not going to just forget about him. He's still going to train, he's still going to get stronger to eventually face Kawaki in the future. Like, Boruto's gonna go out there and find Kawaki if he doesn't come to Konoha first. So while I do think maybe Boruto doesn't develop as fast, he still trains hella hard. So even if he is weaker, it wouldn't be by much, I promise you. I still gotta figure out how he learns the Uzuhiko and the Flying Raijin though, because that is a big part of his arsenal, and if he doesn't know that, I don't know.
Konoha will immediately mobilize all its forces to capture Kawaki. Team 7, the Anbu, and even the Kage from other villages will likely join forces to hunt him down. Kawaki will be considered the greatest threat for having eliminated the 7th Hokage and undermining the stability.
Yeah, he can't handle that.
Interestingly, Kawaki must face all of this alone.
He crashed out.
He has lost his refuge, lost the trust of the people who had accepted him, and continues to live on the run. Even so, he likely won't regret his decision, because from the very beginning, he believed that sealing Naruto was the only way to protect him from the Otsutsuki threat. In other words, without this exchange of destinies, all the suffering Boruto endured in the original story would actually be experienced by Kawaki. He would be the one
and even
to lose
more
his identity, be hated by the entire world, and, which I think is also an interesting point, Amado would likely join Kawaki as a fugitive. Just imagine, in the original scenario, Sasuke had to save Boruto because of the swapped destinies. Whereas, if the destinies hadn't been swapped, I think Amado would be the one with Kawaki. Somehow, this logic seems to point to Akebi, because as we know, if Kawaki is captured or even killed, that would mean there's no second chance for Akebi. And because of that, Amado is probably the one who will make sure Kawaki never dies, even if the entire village and the world are after him.
I mess with it.
Believe it or not, if that happens, Amado and Kawaki might actually end up being the real villains, right? But what do you guys think? Third, Sarada may not have awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan yet, and may never do so. And honestly, this might turn out to be an ironic twist. If Boruto and Kawaki's fates had never been swapped, then it's highly likely Sarada hasn't awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan, or, as I just said, never will.
Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, I don't think she awakens it. Well, the sad part is she might awaken it, but it might be too late. So I mean, Sarada doesn't awaken the MS, Boruto is slightly weaker, Kawaki's on the run with Amado, and Kawaki might come back a little bit stronger. You know, he might be motivated to just train more, so he's not going to be slacking. But all of this is happening, right? And the Shinju aren't even in the picture yet. Wow, they're like, nah, they're actually cooked. So I think this is just gonna come down to the Shinju destroying Earth. Like, that's what I think happens. All the signs are leading down that path. Because like I said, Code is still a threat. And by this time, Code has already created the Claw Grimes. So let's just say Kawaki does find him throughout that time skip. Kawaki would eliminate him. He would be strong enough to eliminate him because I guess a model would take off his limiters. Maybe they had that conversation earlier because of him wanting Kawaki to be stronger to take on Konoha, or maybe something like that. Maybe Amato has more sense in this timeline. Maybe he realizes that Kawaki is in a situation where his power cannot be suppressed. So maybe he offers him that option to switch between 100% offense and defense at will. Maybe that becomes an option for Kawaki earlier or something like that. At least grant him enough power to defeat Code. You know, get rid of Code and make sure if any Konoha shinobi come after him, he'll be able to defend himself. So boom, I do think Kawaki is stronger in this timeline. He's stronger earlier. I don't know about his ceiling being higher, but he'll be stronger earlier because of all the pressure. So maybe that results in him disposing of Code earlier, but I don't know how that affects anything because, like I said, by this time, he already made the Claw Grimes, so there is a chance the Shinju could still awaken. And if the Shinju still awaken in this alternate timeline, I think they're cooked. I think they're cooked. And in this timeline, it might be because of Boruto just not having all the necessary techniques that he'll need to have. The Uzuhiko, the Flying Raijin, he'll still have Sasuke, so maybe instead of those techniques, he'll substitute it for some of Sasuke's techniques. But at the same time, I value those two techniques so much. I just don't think he'll be able to substitute it for anything else.
However, if their fates had never been swapped, none of those events would have happened. Boruto would have remained on Konoha's side, not falsely accused of killing Naruto, and Sarada wouldn't have had to watch the person she trusted and loved most lose his entire life. This means the emotional trigger that awakened the Mangekyou likely would never have occurred either.
Yeah,
but even though I said
might be
at the
cooked.
beginning that Sarada would never awaken that power, that might be an overstatement. Maybe Sarada would still awaken the power of her eyes. The problem is, it might take much longer under different circumstances. But again, what do you guys think? Fourth, Koji might not have teamed up with Boruto. So yeah, after becoming a fugitive,
Yeah, this is
Boruto
probably the
no
biggest
longer had a
problem.
place to return to in Konoha. More precisely, after Sasuke lost to Code, Boruto had to wander alone. He had to fight while the entire world was targeting him and trying to capture him. And because of that, those circumstances brought him together with Koji and led the two of them to eventually team up during the time skip. For 3 years, Koji became a key figure who helped Boruto understand the threats of the future. Thanks to his prescience, Koji could see various possible futures and devise strategies to give Boruto a chance to at least prevent the destruction of the ninja world.
Yeah, so like I said, how does this change things? Because I still think in this timeline, Koji awakens prescience and he'll know about the threat of the Shinju, but if Kawaki's on the run instead of Boruto, how does that affect things? Will it cause Kawaki to team up with Koji instead of Boruto? Because there's no doubt, Koji would still try to do what he can to prevent the Shinju from destroying the Earth. So how does Omnipotence never happening affects how he views things? Instead of Boruto being the key to saving the future, is it Kawaki now? And if it's still Boruto, I still think there is a way that Koji can find Boruto again, you know, similar how he did in the regular timeline. So there's a way he still gets to Boruto, and if he gets to Kawaki, then that's cool. But if he gets to Kawaki and he decides to train him instead of Boruto, then ooh, I don't know. We can't even think like that, right? We can't even think like that. Because in this alternate universe, there's likely a future that's very different than the original one. So maybe Koji still goes out there looking for Boruto, but he tells him, like, you're gonna have to get way stronger because the threat of the Shinju, you're not ready. So he still teaches him the Uzuhiko, he still teaches him FTG, but maybe Boruto keeps this alliance a secret from Sasuke and the rest. I feel like that might have to happen. Or maybe since Boruto is not the one on the run, maybe Koji never has to go into hiding. He'll still want to keep Prescience a secret, but maybe he can be a little bit more open since Boruto is not a fugitive in this future.
If their fates had never been swapped, Boruto would have remained in Konoha with his family and friends. He would have had no reason to live on the run, so the chances of meeting and working with Koji would have been much smaller. As a result, Boruto might not have learned about the various impending threats as quickly as he did in the original story. Without Koji's guidance and information, many crucial decisions could have turned out differently, and it's even possible that some threats would have struck before.
But there's a possibility he still could have met Koji.
And believe it or not, Boruto's story would have ended that quickly. He wouldn't have known his destiny, nor would he have realized that death was always lurking around the corner. So, without the exchange of destinies, the relationship between Boruto and Koji would most likely never have formed the way we see it now, right? Fifth, Boruto wouldn't have become the monster he is today. Yeah, calling him a monster seems like an overstatement, but this isn't about the term monster itself. It's about how he became as strong as a monster because Momoshiki fused with him. I know some of you might think that Boruto's strength isn't because of Momoshiki. He's strong simply because he's Boruto. But we have to accept the fact that at this point, Boruto grew even stronger after Momoshiki lent him all of his power. As a result, Boruto possesses extraordinary power. We also have to remember that some of Boruto's abilities and powers, when used by Momoshiki, have a stronger and more badass output. So naturally, thanks to Momoshiki, Boruto's power is on a whole different level. But the situation would be the exact opposite if Boruto had probably never made that deal due to omnipotence. Momoshiki would never become one. And perhaps what happens is just a cycle that never ends, a cycle where Momoshiki keeps trying to take over Boruto's conscience just as he did before.
And I think another underrated aspect of what Boruto would become, or what would happen in this alternate universe, let's just look at Boruto's demeanor now compared to how it could have been if Omnipotence never happened. We all know how differently he acts now since he came back from the time skip. He's just way more serious, locked in, and just overall unbothered. Like, he already came to the conclusion that he probably might need to sacrifice himself if it means saving the Earth. Now, in this alternate timeline where Omnipotence never happens, he never loses everything. I mean, is Boruto in the right mental space to handle what's gonna be coming to him? Probably not. Like I said, an underrated aspect of him just losing his life is that he's way more focused mentally. He's where he needs to be mentally to be able to defeat the Shinju. Like, even if he's there physically, you have to be there mentally too. Because if you're not ready to sacrifice yourself, if you're not ready to do this or that, or make a huge decision for the greater good, then it might not happen. So yeah, all in all, I just don't think if Omnipotence never happened, Boruto wouldn't have been able to defeat the Shinju. The planet is just no more. So yeah, Kawaki doesn't have to worry about his goals. Amato don't have to worry about seeing his daughter again. The planet is cooked either way. But at the same time, there is a future where Koji still manages to find Boruto before it's too late. And it'll be probably easier to find him because he won't be on the run. So maybe he meets Koji earlier than expected, which gives him more time to train. Huh? You never thought about that, did you? So I guess there's two sides to this, right? Let me know down below in the comment section, what do you believe more? Do you believe in this alternate universe, Koji never comes into contact with Boruto, which means they're not prepared for the emergence of the Shinju, and the planet just dies out? Or do you believe there's another future where Koji finds Boruto earlier than expected because he'll just be in Konoha, and they have more time to train and prepare for the emergence of the Shinju, therefore bettering their chances of defeating the Shinju? What do you believe more? Let me know down below in the comment section. I don't know. At first I believed the first one, but now thinking about it, Koji finding Boruto earlier does make sense. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. Now, I did enjoy that video way more than I thought I was, because you don't really think about that too often. You don't really think about if this didn't happen, what would happen, or if that didn't happen, how would this change the future? You just kind of think about what's really happening in the story, but we definitely need more what if videos. And if I was to make a what if video, what do you guys think it should be on? If you guys have any ideas, let me know down below in the comment section as well. So yeah, like I said, great video by Sharkname. I'm gonna leave the link to his channel down below in the description, so go ahead and check him out. And yeah, without further ado, I'm about to get out of here. So As always, if you guys enjoyed the video and don't mind seeing more like this in the near future, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on them post notifications so you get notified whenever I upload or go live for chapter spoilers. And until my next one, I'll see you boys and girls later. And I'm out. Peace.